Thanks so much for joining me this morning, and the faculty who have engaged in innovation projects in the last fiscal. You're going to hear some very innovative activities that have taken place. Well, I was going to say all of them, but all of them around experiential education, and all of them having to do with scholarship. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Gary Fisher to come up here. Gary's project was to establish, administer, and oversee a mentorship program in film arts curriculum so as to increase employment opportunities for students. Very good idea. Gary?
I'm going to talk about the Film Arts Mentorship Initiative, but first I wanted to just talk about jobs for film arts students, and maybe jobs for students in general. If I think of myself, I had no idea what I was doing 25 years ago. But if I look back, and you can start the slides now, please, Mark. This is wallpaper. You're going to watch some wallpaper. This is asynchronous. It has nothing much to do with what I'm saying. It just shows what our students do in the program. So if I think about myself and the chaos and varieties of experience I went through in order to become a screenwriter and an executive story editor in television and a producer and a game writer, all those things, at the time they don't make any sense whatsoever. But if you look back, actually it makes a lot of sense. And the pathway, although it's circuitous and strange, makes a certain amount of sense. So I reflected on my own career path, and the other instructors of the program, they would do that too, because all the instructors in film arts have professional lives as well. So we have a director who at one point was a military tank commander in Israel, and his career path to being a director was actually from crew. He started working at a very low level on film sets in the movie-making business, and that was his particular path. Another one of our instructors has been an actor for about 30 years, professional actor, and his career path actually started here at Studio 58. So the idea of career paths and how for art students and film arts students, they're not as direct as one might find in, say, law or dentistry. Now, the job market for film, television, has really changed since I was active in it. And if you look at the market and the local market in BC, it's really split into two. There's really two industries. One is a service industry. That's like when Spider-Man comes to town, or the George Clooney movie comes to town. And that's usually a project that the local community, consisting mostly of crew and technicians, serves. And those workers are called below the line. The term below the line comes from a top sheet of a budget, and there's a line, and above the line is kind of an executive and creative level, and below is still creative people, but everything from drivers to cameraman and so on. So there's a service industry, and then there's the domestic industry. And the domestic industry is smaller in scale, and that's where most of the above the line people go. Our students, they want to be directors, actors, and writers. That's all above the line. Okay, so that's just a little snapshot, if you can picture that, of what the industry is. Now, what's really changed, the big game changer here in recent years has been technology. This allows the local domestic industry and people who want to be actors and writers and directors to obtain the means of production because the cost is significantly less. It allows our students to be entrepreneurs and job creators. And the second thing technology does is really expand the potential of the skills that we teach, because these skills are transferable, and they're transferable within a sector that is there something up there I should do? It is quite amusing. Feel free to keep watching. The second point is that is the expansion of potential. And film and television has really blended into what's called digital and screen-based media. Now this includes interactive design, digital entertainment and games, digital film, animation and special effects, mobile content and applications, and e-learning. My point is, and my assertion is that writing, acting, and directing and the other technical skills that we teach, technical and artistic skills, are all transferable within this sector. So video games are written, and apps are designed, and so on. So that's one aspect. And the second aspect of this technological change, which is impacting film and television, is that content capture, manipulation, and distribution uses all the same technological resources. So you can watch content on your phone, your iPad, on your computer, and so on. So we have the idea of jobs or careers for film students, and we have career pathways, maybe represented by faculty, and which can be seen in hindsight, and a changing market, okay, which puts us in digital and screen-based media. Now, a point that I personally really want to make is that underpinning the subsector, all this exciting bits and bytes and iPads and screen technology, are all the venerable skills. And these are imagination, storytelling, design, image making, drama, art, everything that we do here at Langara in the Creative Arts Division. Now, in reflecting on my own career path, I was reminded actually only because a student came to me in the fall of 2012, and she suggested the idea of a mentorship for film arts students. And I was reminded of my own mentors, one of whom is named Michael Mercer, and he's a major donor. You can see his name on the donor board outside, just outside this auditorium. So I thought, well, that's a great idea, mentorship program for film arts students. But I was also aware of the peculiarities of the film and television industry. And therefore, the approach we took was very, very careful to institute this. So we opened our pitch to these people in the profession that we were approaching to be mentors for our students with two quotes. One quote is, the greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. And the second quote was, in every art, beginners must start with models of those who have practiced the same art before them. I'm just going to get some water. Mark. Thank you. So we went on to say that mentors can encourage creative and professional growth, community engagement, and support one's students' learning experience at Langara. We asked them if they're willing to share their experiences, offer guiding insights, perceptions, and practical advice. And most important, I think, and this represents our approach, were they willing to spend 1 or 2 hours a month during the course of the student studies to meet with them outside of the college. We prepared application forms and guidelines for both the students and the mentors. And the whole idea was not to be too onerous not to place too much of a burden on the mentors. People in the film and television industry are very busy. I'm sure we're all very busy, but with them it's almost to a surreal degree. They're put upon all the time, and we wanted to do a really soft sell for them. So we weren't asking for too much of their time. We provided support to the mentors in the form of guidelines and suggestions and discussions. I thought it was important that the meetings were taking place while the student was in the film arts program because it took the pressure off the mentor. We wanted to make sure the mentors enjoyed the experience so they'd be willing to do it again and tell their colleagues, because we wanted to expand our mentor pool. And we also allowed for the relationship taking its own course. And I think as a result of our approach, we received a good response from the professional community. We did extend the meetings with the students into the month after graduation because we wanted to transition the students out of the program and perhaps extend the relationship. So we instituted this in 2013, last year. And we had 12 students and 12 mentors. So really one of the things there is access. Students have a very hard time getting access to decision makers. And this, we hoped, was the beginning of access. And it went along, and it was all fine, and really didn't require too much maintenance. I mean, you could check in with them once in a while and say, how's it going? And in general, it went really well. But we wanted to quantify some results and really check that what we were doing worked. So we asked them in December of 2013, that would be 3 months after the mentorship program, we said, what are you doing? And we found out that 6 students were working in the film industry, either independently or on union projects. And here's some quotes. I just got off an editing job for a web series, Blank Verse, where I cut 8 episodes. I've been offered a few $1,000s to cover production costs to write, shoot, or direct a video project next year. Second quote, I recently entered IATSE Props Day Call list, and permittee status will be mine within 2 months. I've worked on 13 indie productions as an assistant director, or second assistant director on 3 union shows as a locations PA, as well since graduating, and also produced 1 feature film concept trailer. Writing and developing various personal projects for various media, worked as a production assistant, and now preparing for a job as an I/O coordinator for a visual effects company. Another student is an IATSE 891 union permittee, working as a lab hawk on union sets. Served as a best boy electric on an indie horror feature, and they were directing and acting in a web series. Another one was doing some set work, transcribing work, traveling, and looking for more writing jobs. You can see what a kind of a circuitous path it is. It's really a difficult industry to break into. And what's really critical is I wouldn't quite say who you know. I mean, who you know only provides an opportunity, and then it's a really strict and actually quite severe meritocracy. So we were quite happy with that. We asked students to comment on direct ways the mentorship experience aided in their career development. And the examples, their replies were providing a job reference, learning about how the industry works, influencing decision-making on career goals, solidifying skills taught in film school, and further development of practical skills. Let's see, what else did they say to us? How am I doing for time? Really? Wow. Time flies when you're having a good time. So the evaluation feedback suggested to us that the most valuable components as experienced by the students were the knowledge and industry insider perspective the mentors brought to the relationship. Here's a quote, I learned that there's a method to the industry madness, but there isn't ever only one clear way of doing things, and that people can make their own way and still flourish at their professions. Another quote is, keep your plates spinning. He, the mentor, is able to support himself by doing myriad things, which is what I believe is the task ahead for me. So we concluded that the mentorship was a valuable thing for the students, that it adds value to the program, and that enhances the reputation of the program out in the industry. There's kind of a back and forth there. So it was a one-time pilot program, and we decided to continue it. All the documentation is produced. We can just reuse that with some modification, and the mentorship program is continuing this year and into the future. And I just want to thank the film arts grad, Brianne Nettlefield, for her inspiration, for her idea, and for her work on this initiative. And I want to thank the Innovation Committee for supporting it. And that's it.
So Diana says we have time for Q&A. So if anyone has a question to ask Gary, now's the time.
Yep.
What were the mentors' responses? Did they feel as positive as something?
There's my technology, just one second. Well, yeah, there's kind of a thing that happens, probably in all professions, but you know, when you're a certain age, you kind of want to give back. That's very common with writing, directing, acting. It's very common with the arts, especially performing arts. So many people want to do that, and that's kind of acknowledged. And once you get to a certain point in your career, you're kind of happy to help certain people. So that worked in our favor. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
I just want to remind you that this particular innovation came from the students. So that's kind of an interesting spin to where projects of innovation can come from. I'd like to invite Shannon Redmond from our School of Nursing to have her 15 minutes of fame, and Wendy Watson from Communications and Marketing. What we're going to hear about now is their project, which was to create an orientation video for new nursing students as well as faculty and staff about the lab policies, new equipment and supplies available in the recently renovated Nursing Simulation Center up here on the 3rd floor. You need to drop in. Ladies?
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. So hello there, my name is Shannon Redmond. I'm the Assistant Chair for the Nursing Simulation Center with the School of Nursing.
Hi, sorry, I'm Wendy Watson in Communications and Marketing, and I'm here with Shannon. We've partnered on this Innovation Fund project to create these videos for the student orientation video for the Nursing Simulation Center. This is where the Nursing Simulation Center is located, and oh, we were missing someone. Here's our third party.
You said that there's a lot of people here today. Wow, there is quite a few. So you seem a little nervous. Do you get nervous with crowds, Steve?
Yeah, a little.
A little, okay. So, you're kind of sweating. Oh dear.
Poor Steve.
Okay, poor Steve. So, yeah, you're trembling. You just relax, Let me feel your pulse. Yeah, oh my goodness, you're just shaking. Kind of remind me of myself. Okay, so feeling your pulse. Oh, it's just racing. You just have to relax, Steve. And I bet your blood pressure is through the roof. So Steve is one of our human patient simulators that we have, one of 3 human patient simulators that we have in the Nursing Simulation Center. And he is very expensive, actually. He's about $90,000. So very expensive. But he is only one of the many resources that we have in the Nursing Simulation Center for the students to use. So we renovated the Nursing Simulation Center about 2 years ago. And it actually now is a space that we can use more of our human patient simulators to provide students with an experiential opportunity to learn the art and the science of nursing and not compromise patient safety. So that's the key. So a thorough and comprehensive Nursing Simulation Center orientation was really required for students as well as faculty because of our complexity of advanced technology and our advanced equipment. So presently, both faculty and staff were really spending a lot of time doing this orientation. So now, with this video that we've developed, this series of videos actually, we can provide this important student orientation to be an excellent resource for students and for the new faculty that's coming on in the School of Nursing. Oh, are you okay?
Excuse me.
Oh, gosh.
Tickle in my throat.
Oh, tickle in your throat, okay. It's all right.
So this innovation funding allowed us to create a series of videos to be used for the orientation of our nursing students, for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, for the Nursing Transition program, as well as our international programs, and the nursing faculty and staff. And how we link these videos to our strategic plan is, because that was one of the key points of getting the innovation funding. So under the learner success modules, this video would actually provide students with the ability to review orientation information whenever it was required in order to fully understand the Nursing Simulation Center operations and requirements, which as you can see are probably quite complex. And then this contributes to their success within the nursing program. Under flexibility, this innovation video would be provided on their D2L website, which provides a flexible delivery option. Under the international section, video provides a visual learning technique which enhances the learning success of our international nursing students. This will prepare them as they can fully participate in hands-on simulation strategies in the absence of clinical practice experience. This video can also be used as part of a recruitment strategy overseas. Under the facilities section, by utilizing this orientation video, vital lab space, as well as expensive manpower, is freed up to provide other student learning opportunities. And under the technology, nursing simulation is a new innovative technological teaching strategy. Students need to become familiar and comfortable using this new technology. So this video is accessible to students from home 24/7 on D2L.
I'm a B-I-T.
You definitely are, Steve. You're definitely the most important person here. So the outcomes of the video then were to demonstrate Nursing Simulation Center equipment and technology, also to review with the students the policies and procedures that we have in the nursing lab to build their confidence and familiarity with the equipment, to provide information digitally through our Desire to Learn website, and then the videos are actually segmented for easy updating. So under our work plan and our timeline, then we had 4 phases that we went through. Phase 1 was the development of the storyboard and actually the script as well. Phase 2 was the auditions and shooting of the video. Phase 3 was the editing and post-production, and Phase 4 was the implementation of the video. And we did this from April 2013 until September 2014. And you'll see a picture here of Noelle, and actually she is our birthing simulator. Noelle can actually deliver a baby within 5 minutes. So if anybody is jealous of her, I can understand why. So in the next picture, you'll see her actually giving birth. Get ready. So that really helps with our maternity students so that they can, because not often on a Tuesday and Wednesday when we offer clinical to our nursing students that they'll actually see a birth. I mean, it depends on, they're there at the right time. So we can do that with our simulator. Oh, my goodness. Good.
The innovation funding monies were used to hire a videographer, to reimburse our student and alumni actors and volunteers, as well as to provide refreshments for our actors and our crew. So the breakdown of that is that our videographer was around $5,900, a little more. Our student honorariums came to $725, And our refreshments for actors and crew was a little over $250 for a grand total just under the $7,000 budget.
So we had 4 video modules. The 4 are Ready, Set, Go, which is actually a preparation of the students for their skills and their simulation classes. We had Tools of the Trade, which is the equipment within the NSC. Technically Speaking was our 3rd video module, and it's basically about the human patient simulators as well as the electronic medication carts that we have now in practice and in the lab. And then our final one was Simulation and Nursing Video, which showcases a live demonstration of the nursing simulation. Steve, wake up, wake up. I think he's sending us a strong message that we should just see the clips.
Okay.
It was the budget that put him over. Yeah.
So the first one is the Tools of the Trade. I'll show you a little clip from that video.
Wow, I only know the bed, the wall panel, and the side table there. Maybe we should ask Heather to show us around.
That's probably a good idea. Hey Heather, could you show us around the standard client area? We have no idea what we're looking at here.
Sure. Let's start here with the bed. We always have the top side rails up when the patient's in the bed, but when we aren't using it, we raise the bed up and place the side rails down. Cool. Are the buttons on the side rail what make the bed go up and down? Correct. We can place the bed into any position that's comfortable for the patient. This is the overbed table. We put it in the lowest position and store it over the middle of the bed. This is the wall unit. It has your oxygen, your flow meter, and your suction equipment. There's also space for a call bell. Oh, and this is the kidney basin and the regular basin. We store them under the bedside table.
So the second clip we're going to show you is an actual live simulation of a cardiac arrest on a hospital unit.
Hi, I'm Shannon Redmond.
Hi, my name is Kevin.
My name is Henry, and I'm currently a 4th year Langara nursing student.
I am an alumnus of the School of Nursing at Langara College.
I'm the Nursing Simulation Center Coordinator for the School of Nursing at Langara College.
Nursing is a demanding profession. In order to excel in this profession, it takes great instructors, innovative teaching strategies, and a supportive learning environment.
Having the ability to use nursing simulation, which is a great strategy that replicates real-life clinical experiences, has allowed me to become better prepared for the real world. When I first started working as a new grad, I felt confident that I was able to perform my duties well. It definitely has made a big difference in my career.
Hi there. Nursing simulation really increases my confidence in my nursing care. It provides me with an experience that I may not see very often, but it allows me to practice my skills so I know what to do in those situations. Sometimes I forget these are actually mannequins. It really feels like the real thing, so I have to react quickly. So today, I will be the nurse providing care to Mrs. Green, who is on the surgical unit in room 372. Let's go and meet her. Hello there, Mrs. Green. My name is Henry, and I'm a student nurse providing care for you today. How are you doing today?
Hi, Henry. You can call me Jill. I'm not doing that great, actually. I'm really itchy in my chest and my arms.
That sounds very uncomfortable for you. Is it okay if I take a look at your skin?
Absolutely.
It seems like you have a red rash going on.
Is oxygen helping you at all? Mr. Riley? Mr. Riley, can you hear me? Mark. Henry, I need your help.
I'll be right there. I'm going to help a colleague for a quick moment here. I'm going to leave the call bell right by your hand, and I'm just going to close the curtains briefly, okay?
No pulse.
Here's the board.
So that just gives you a little example of our 4 modules that we showed you two. So, wow, Steve, I can't believe how late it is. We've got to get you back to the lab for your medication. Obviously, he doesn't need sleeping medication. Okay. So I'd like to thank Tristan Fabian, the lab demonstrator from the Nursing Simulation Center, for helping us with Steve today.
And I'd like to thank you all for coming to our presentation today. Thank you very much.
I just want to say one thing. Please visit us up at the Nursing Simulation Center. You're more than welcome to come and have a tour. Just give us a call, let us know, and we'd love to see you. Okay, thank you.
Goodbye.
So our next presenter is from the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Nora Franzova has worked on a project this past year to determine the appropriate tools best suited for diagnostic testing in an online environment. So join me in welcoming Nora.
So my presentation is very, very different. It's a PowerPoint. Since I presented last year also, this was an extension of a project, I relied a little bit on cut and paste. So it's a PowerPoint where there's some cut and paste. First I thought I'm going to give you a quiz at the beginning, because I'm sure you all came last year and you remember everything I did, but so then I kind of gave up on that and decided to benefit from the actual cut and paste story. So this is the title right now, Online Testing for Math and Statistics Diagnostic and Placement Testing, which is not to be confused with my last year's presentation title, which says using long kappa for diagnostic testing and beyond. So we can go now back and forth, and that's, I'm sorry. So the truth is, it is a continuation of the same project. The project, we asked for money to be able to investigate all kinds of possibilities that we know are out there because publishers offer things to us where we can do all these amazing testing things for the students. And we wanted to make our own, because we have our own and perfect math diagnostic test. And it might sound sarcastic, the perfect, but spending 2 years working on it, I get people liking it, and people from ways like, can I use this? Can I borrow this? So I guess we have a perfect one, which I didn't think 2 years ago. Anyway, so this is all about the main project investigation uses online algorithmically generated randomized testing as a replacement for a traditional pen and pencil math diagnostic test. Langara Math Department had a diagnostic test from where before I came, so it's quite a bit of time, and it was the same test, same perfect test for the past 20-something years. And eventually students started coming in with a copy of the actual test saying like, I want to take this one, and we realized that our confidentiality issues might have been violated. so we figured we got to improve on this. And so that was a goal 2 years ago, that there are possibilities out there. And the algorithmically generated, randomized thing, that's what we wanted. We wanted students, as they sit next to each other, see different questions. And it's possible. Technology is out there. The question was, how hard is it to adopt it to our things and change things according to what we like? So this is a little bit about the math diagnostic test, for those of you who don't know and didn't pay attention last year when I did present this math diagnostic test. It's about 800 students every year, and it mainly is given to international students because we do not know their level. Students whose prerequisite is too old, 3 or more years. Math is not the subject most of the students want to remember for the rest of their life, even though they have to eventually. Out-of-province students, and students who want to challenge the placement for that their high school guarantees for them. So these are our usual customers. And we offer it, it's not like LET or anything, we offer it 2 big ones every semester, so 6 and maybe a couple more, so up to 9 tests maybe per semester as students write the test. And in this lovely room, they all gather, sit down. So what did we accomplish the year before? So we at that time when we applied for the project, we knew a couple softwares, Langara. It's a free software that does this, what we wanted, algorithmically generated randomized questions, and SFU is using it. So we had connections with SFU. We decided, well, it's free. They know what they're doing, so let's use that one. Then Maple TA, placement testing system, whatever, is heavily used by BCIT, and every course is using it. That's for money, it's Maple. But it's Canadian, so we will be supporting Canadian industry. And WebWork, which is kind of on the side, I knew about it, I didn't know it's so big. So WebWork is supported by the Mathematical Association of America. It's free, and now UBC became a user for it. So these were the three things. And then what we accomplished with like amazing creativity of Michael Lowe and Pitch Money, who sits back there, they took our test and processed it sufficiently and then gave some options for the parameters that will be algorithmically rotated through. So the questions really, that was a hardcore work, that was the creative part, which of course then you have to adopt. That was a very big creative job that was done in a year, and it didn't technically cost any money, but it costed a lot of arguing, like, oh, the machine doesn't know that 4 divided by 2 is 2. Oh, we have to now tell the machine to simplify this. So it was quite a lot of work. And we created a test in Langara. It was later transferred into Maple TA because kind of the same coding system could have been used again. And then we had a fully online math diagnostic test on December 18th where we used both of the systems kind of creatively. At that point, we used all these things. There were issues with it. For example, a silly issue that you don't think about. Students who come, they don't have a login for Langara computers. So we had to apply for 40 logins with these passwords, like the capital X, a little 2, and a little 5, and it's just like this lengthy thing. So students already are coming stressed to do a math test. Like, here's your password. So there are these silly issues that you don't realize that they are there. So, but this is passed. Now this, the next, well, then we finished. We were kind of done, and we said we haven't explored everything, and we had money left. Let me point that out. And so I asked if I could use that money to continue with the project, and it was approved. And so the next group was to try the other ones. Maple TA, we knew we had to change some things or fix something, and the web work was kind of here. And I went to a conference, and I liked what they were doing, and so I said, so I'll work on the web work because UBC is using it. Maybe we can partner up with them. And so the second phase was mainly working on web work. Again, designed the whole test in web work. Again, it was a free thing. It just got some support and all that. With Maple TA, we found glitches since we did a trial run, so then we had to go back and maybe redo that. So this was for the new project, what we accomplished. And then on January 3rd this year, we administered another diagnostic test where we used the web work, and we used the new one, improved or whatever, Maple TA, and we decided to spend the leftover money to just get membership with Maple. All the others are free, but they're free, but somebody owns that server. So this whole relative freeness, it's fine, we can share, but then the names of our students would be on somebody else's server. Buying a server, that's a whole different thing that needs IT people, and that's not going to happen. So the Maple TA, with the fact that they provide the service, but you have to pay for it, and we had money left over. So we have the Maple TA now guaranteed for 2 years, and it's fairly secure, especially if you want to use those for international students testing, because there's always somebody whom you can call 24 hours and say, like, oh, something's not working out. So that's why we decided to spend the money on that one. The other ones we're keeping because they were interesting. And then, okay, I want to click back for a moment. There was a lucky moment. The WebWork organizes these called code camps. And one of the code camps was coming to Vancouver because UBC wanted to be involved, and they were doing this whole code camp. And so I was in touch. I was going to do that. It was fun. It was the long weekend last year, July. It was a sunny weekend, just in case you're wondering. It was already a problem. And then they called me that something went sour with them and UBC, if I could host it. Okay. And So Langara always has a big heart, and so I worked with the IT people, actually with the security people, because it's a long weekend, college is closed. So all these little things had to be arranged. It didn't require any money, it just required open doors and everything. And so here it comes, Langara, welcome to the nerds. And since I saw the other projects, and they all have this cool stuff, I had the feeling I have to make mine cooler. So those of you who watch Big Bang Theory, and when the nerds are thinking, there's this music playing. Let's see if that works now. Okay, so we had nerds here for 3 days. It was amazing. I have to tell, I know these people. I actually know them from my grad school and all that. But they were so committed to it. Every morning we came, somebody brought breakfast and all that. Langara provided some. But they paid. They had money, so that was not the issue. So there was no money involved here. But they would sit down and ask everybody, what do you want to do today? What do you want to do today? What do you want to do today? And then at the end of the day, we reported if we did what we want to do today. So you can see up there, it says diagnostic test. That was my thing that I wanted to work on. I like the blue one that says, show me another button. So there were like real computer people here. I had no idea, like they were working on the bottom of that programming thing. And this is something, how the test looks when it's coded. And so I can play the music a little bit more, but no, I think we can leave it at that. And this is then somehow how the test looks. You can see the question numbers and all that. This could be prettier, but at this point, so this is how the test looks, and this is how the code looks. And so every student would see a different question. And we did run this test, and I think it was interesting. It was a very interesting experience. I got a lot of help from people who were here. They liked the test, so I was proud of my test, and they helped me put the test into whatever shape it is in. And it was possible to use. On January 3rd, we used this test. So is this the future? Well, I guess. And all the testing, we like this. Now, I have 2 minutes left, so is this the future? One of the key points that I said, I'm going to debate with my department if we see this as a possibility. Tests can be marked instantly. Tests are accessible from anywhere. So there are confidentiality issues with those servers being located at random places. Some technology issues, like I have to get those IDs for everybody to log in. And then having a computer classroom for all the tests. And that's the scheduling issue that would be there. So I think it should happen. But so we're pushing this little wagon. I'm going to push this wagon a little bit more with the help of my friends there. Chila Tama, she's the Maple TA guru. I guess I should have switched the pictures. Eugene Belchev, he knows everything. He's a computer guy. Michael Lowe and Cheryl McKeeman. And I mentioned Pitch. He was in the first phase, very heavily used for us, and Cheryl's for us. And those are the technology parts. So thank you very much.
Questions for Nora? Joanne.
What was the feedback from that first group of students who took the online test?
We gave them a little questionnaire, and they were comfortable with because they've been writing tests like these before. Even some of the provincial tests, the provincial exams are on the computer. There was like no surprise. We were expecting they're going to say something, and they would say some details like, oh, it was kind of weird that I had to click next and then click next again. So some of the technology things that they pointed out, but the idea that it's not a paper, but it's a computer, that seemed to have been lost. I usually ask for volunteers the very, very first, never mind. So I asked for volunteers the very first time when we did it, and those immediately hands up. And the second time, nobody objected.
Did anybody complain that it's not the test they prepared for?
Last year, I already had 4 colored tests, so we have now different ones. So we don't have just one. So I should have brought some copies. Yeah. So yeah, nobody complained.
Thank you, Nora.
I'd like to invite Janine Lennox, chair of our School of Nursing, to come forward and report out on her project that she did in collaboration with Pat Woods. The project was to, the money was used to fund a visit to Masindi Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kenya and conduct a feasibility study about the local context of community nursing practice and assess student learning opportunities for clinical practice.
Thank you, and of course I am not Pat Woods. Pat is the person who actually did all of the work on this project. She has just now made her second visit to Kenya to ensure that the students are all going to be very well set up for their practice experience, which will start at the very beginning of June in Kenya. On her way back to Canada, she's taking a little vacation in Tuscany. So she's currently in a town that I call San Gimignano because I can't pronounce it. I think it's San Gimignano or something like that. So that's where Pat is right now, although I think she is back very soon, and then she's going to be flying to Toronto to present at an internationally educated nurses conference on something totally different, actually. But this is one of our initiatives to include nursing globalism in our curriculum. So Pat actually has been to Kenya once before in order to do the assessment. And then just now, because we do have students going, she went there with one of our other faculty members, Andre Bamforth, to ensure that everything is well set up for our students. So for those of us who are geographically challenged, this is where Kenya is. It's very, very close to a number of other African countries, of course, Tanzania, Uganda. It's also close to Rwanda, where one of my daughters was recently volunteering. So I know that she did spend some time in Kenya as well. And this is exactly where the students are going to be in Kakamega, which is it's in a rural agricultural area of Kenya. And there's no paved streets or anything like that. There are some stores and roadside markets. Kiswahili and English are the two official languages. And when the School of Nursing is looking at places to go for international experiences for our students, we really do look at those countries that have English as the language of education, because it does make it much easier for our students, although language continues to be a bit of a barrier. The term that we've chosen is our current Term 8. We are renewing our curriculum, but currently we have in Term 8, it's a consolidated practice experience, so we don't have the added problems of having them have coursework as well that they need to complete in terms of assignments academically from other courses. So this is a good spot to put it in for now, and it is an immersion experience. We really a lot through Pat's initiatives, but also other people in the School of Nursing have for a long time been very focused on trying to include nursing globalism as a part of our curriculum. Maureen Maloney here in the audience has worked very hard on that as well as other members of our faculty. So it's not just a nursing field trip, an extended and intense nursing field trip. That's not what it is. There's a real need to include international experiences, international practice experiences for our students, because it's something that nurses really need to have under their belt. It's an expectation that we're aware that we contribute to global health. And this practice experience offers our students so much. I think that if you had seen any of the comments that came from the students who just came back from India, we have had two groups of students now go to India, one in 2013 in January, and then in February of 2013 again, or 2014. So our Indian experiences have been very full experiences for our students. They come back, they feel changed. They feel that they have brought information back and a way of thinking that they could never have developed here in Canada. These experiences are very, very acute. I know that Maureen was with the students for our first international practice experience in India. And we also had an article written in the Vancouver Sun by Pete McMartin on the experiences that his daughter had in India, because she's in our School of Nursing, talking about how changed she felt and how she hoped that she never lost that feeling and the experiences that she brought back. So we now see it as an essential component, and these ideas come from our Canadian Nurses Association, that in comparison with other methods of teaching, that the immersion experience, it really brings so much to the students. Now, of course, not all the students can go, but now that we have 2 areas that we can go to, India and Kenya, this offers opportunities for students in each cohort that we have. The students also bring information back. They do try to blog, and they of course probably Facebook each other quite a bit, but the technology doesn't always allow for really complete blogging or anything like that, so they can share it with all the students back here in Canada. So the overall goal is to educate culturally competent nurses, and they of course bring that information back here to Canada, where we have such multiculturalism as a focus in our country, but also in our curriculum. So we were offered this partnership with Masinda Muliro University of Science and Technology. MUST is what they call it. It's a nationally accredited university. We came to this through a mutual acquaintance of Pat's and mine. Marie is someone who I used to work with in home care, and she's someone that Pat used quite a bit as a guest speaker in her classes. And I can remember that we used to always in home care bring back any leftover supplies from patients' homes, anything that was just a little bit expired, and Marie would take this equipment to Kenya to help out in her volunteer activities. And so she also became a guest speaker for Pat's classes, and through Marie we established this relationship. So the language of instruction is English, but there are also opportunities for other faculties at Langara to work with MUST. They're very, very interested in working not just with the School of Nursing, but they want to work with all these other faculties, and they have a real focus on research. So there's a real opportunity here for other faculties to participate. And when you look at early childhood education and some of these other more health-based faculties, I know that Fanshawe College, and I know Lane's not here today, and he comes from Fanshawe, but I know Fanshawe College always has done these experiences with early childhood education in nursing and social work. So there's opportunities for people to go all at the same time. So this is the aim, the vision of MUST is to carry out research and creative work internationally, and that's a real focus for them. This is Dr. Akoth, I think, yes, John Akoth, and Pat, as well as Professor Wangila from the Vice Chancellor. And this is from her first trip there. Some other pictures, I think this is their library. And what I noticed in these pictures, I haven't been there myself, but in comparison with a lot of the facilities that I saw in India, I was in India twice last year, going around to a variety of different schools of nursing, is that when you look here, their setup it looks very, very good. It's very, very clean. It's very fairly modern, really, in comparison with some that I was at. So they have good facilities, and just looking at the main challenges in the rural areas where the students will be is related to maternal child health and various other things. Malaria, of course, very prevalent, and HIV/AIDS. This area of the country has the second highest rate of HIV/AIDS in Kenya. And the faculty members who will be going, Andre Bamforth and Suki Grual, are both very, very experienced instructors, very experienced nurses in maternal child health as well as medical surgical nursing. So they're well able to support our students in this area. So they'll be spending 3 weeks in community in the rural centers, And this, it's difficult to see this slide here, this picture here, but this really looks at the demographics of what they see in the area that they'll be working in. And then in the acute care area, there's 1 week observational in acute care hospital. And these are their primary, the primary things that they see is the effects of malaria, upper respiratory tract infections, pneumonia, diarrhea, and hypertension in the hospital. This is the guest house that the students are going to be staying in. So you can see it's clean, it's adequate. They're going to have 24/7 security in their breakfast. They're going to be bused when they're going somewhere out into the country. And these are some of the roadside stands. And this is Pat sitting with Granny Obama. And this is where Barack Obama's ancestors came from, the Luo tribe, the second largest ethnic group. And then when the students are finished, they have the opportunity of traveling around Africa or wherever it is that they want to go, maybe on a safari. And this is the schedule that we have used to determine what students will participate in the international practice experience. We have, we start off really early. Pat goes and talks with all the students and makes them aware of the opportunities. They have an application process. They have to be students in very good standing because we don't want to disadvantage students who are actually, experiencing challenges in their education program. They have to be strong students. And they're also interviewed to make sure that, psychologically we can really see that they're going to be up for this experience. They also spend a lot of time preparing. The students that are going in June will spend all of May preparing here at the college for their assignments, for culturally what they're going to expect and how we expect them to act and behave while they're there. This is the cost per student. So it's fairly expensive, but we have a full cohort going. And we're hoping that students will eventually, as we progress with offering this experience every term, that they will do some fundraising to help support each other. It might also be an early graduation present, we hope, from very generous parents who probably have already supported education quite a bit. And so Asante, which is thank you in Kiswahili, and these again are pictures of people that are in the School of Nursing and at MUST. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Questions? No?
Questions?
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane. So
I'd just like to make an observation about these innovation projects. First of all, the common link, they cut creative arts, mathematics, School of Nursing, is that they all involve students. And they were all very successful projects because one of the things we do really well here at Langara is look after our students. So I want to thank the innovators for their very good work. And the second comment, if I may, is that these projects don't end. Each of the project leaders have said that there's go forward actions that they intend to carry out. So we can look forward to not hearing about those, but actually seeing them. So I want to thank you for joining me this morning and joining Gary, Shannon, Wendy, Nora, and Janine. And it's now time for lunch. So Diana has suggested that I need to direct you to the employee lounge. No? Yeah, wherever it is. So yeah, so it's that way? Go that way. Okay, thank you folks. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.